Nick Duran here with Tattoo University. Today I'm going to finish off a video that took me 2 weeks to make because I waited 2 weeks for my tattoo to heal, and I watched it heal and I recorded how it healed. The most important part for a beginning tattoo artist is not exactly how the tattoo looks. I mean, that is really important. You want a good looking tattoo, but one of the important things you really need to look at is how the tattoo heals. Because if the tattoo looks great up front but it heals really poorly, it's not going to look great on the back end. It's not really going to look good if a lot of that ink falls out and you have a lot of scabbing. It's really important to look at the final result, the healed tattoo, when you're learning how to tattoo. That way you can see if you're doing too much damage, or if your ink is not staying in the skin, if you're not going deep enough. The healed tattoo will tell you a lot about your tattooing process and whether you're doing it correctly or not. A lot of artists like to blame a poor tattoo on the client because it might look good at first, but then they leave and they come back and it's messed up. Well, that is not the client's fault. That is not because of the aftercare that the client did or did not do. If you do the tattoo correctly, it will look good. I've had tattoos that I've had allergic reactions to the ink, and they poofed up and they got real gnarly, but then as soon as they healed, they looked good again. And I just made sure I never used that ink ever again. Stop blaming your poor tattooing on the client. Stop putting that on somebody else. I've read that in books. I'm telling you, it's not true. Yeah, so stop blaming the client. Put the blame where it belongs. If the tattoo looks bad, it's probably because of something you're doing. So look at your finished tattoos and see where you can make improvements. And I'm going to show you this tattoo of mine that I did on myself 2 weeks ago. In fact, tomorrow would be 2 weeks exactly, so it's a little less than 2 weeks. And you can see how the tattoo looks, how it healed. It healed nice and dark, all the colors in there. There's nothing wrong with it. And actually, when I look at other people's tattoos, I read the tattoos, which is something I'm going to start teaching you guys, and I'm going to show you in one of my upcoming videos, is that you can look at a tattoo and see what you've done wrong, or what the artist has done wrong. If it's fuzzy, it went too deep. If it fell out, they didn't go deep enough. If they scarred somebody up and there's all these little white patchy areas in the tattoo, they jacked somebody up. They didn't tattoo them correctly. They actually, instead of just getting the pigment in the skin, they tore up the skin bad enough to where it scabbed up and fell out. Day 2, it's not red, it's not raised up, it's not raised, there's no big chunky scabs. It feels like my skin. Almost like my skin, but a little bit of felt or a little hairier right there. That's the only difference. That's day 2. This is day 4. You can see I'm just putting some ointment on the tattoo twice a day. And this is what we have so far. Not much, not really exciting. You can see the hair, if I get the light just right. The hair on my leg starting to grow back, a little stubbly already. And the tattoo feels kind of like felt. There's no chunky areas, everything kind of looks the same. No missing areas, no white spots, no splotchy areas. No areas that, there's no area that is healing really badly. And so far after 4 days, the ink still hasn't fallen out. Okay guys, I think we are finally getting to what I'm trying to show you. I haven't put any ointment on this yet, and you can see how it is healing. See just the tiny little flakes. Never pick at your tattoo. Never pick your tattoo. Because what happens is this is still healing. It is still attached. If I pick at it, I'll cause it to bleed and I'll take even longer to heal. If your tattoo is really scabby when it's healing, you're doing too much damage. It should only look like this. Little flaky skin coming off. Almost like you have a sunburn, like you've been out in the sun too long. Okay, so we're at day 6, and I want to show you this before I put any lotion on it. This is how your tattoos should heal. Let me show you. This is all that should come off of your tattoo. See how thin that is? That's all that should come off of that. And you can see the ink is still in the skin. It's gonna lighten up a little bit, but it should still be in there. Nice and solid. See how the yellow didn't go away? It's still in there. Still not gonna pick at this because I might actually cause it to take longer to heal. But if it comes off, there we go, there's another piece. Most of this, because there's not a lot of damage, has just come off from my pant leg rubbing on it. And this is the first week, so usually give it about 2 weeks to heal up. But you can see This area here is almost healed up already within the first week. And we still have all of our color in there. See how the yellow's still in there? Now after 2 weeks, there's no scab here. You see the hairs growing back, everything looks like skin. There's nothing left as far as scab goes. If you close your eyes and run your hand across the tattoo, you should not be able to find where the tattoo is at. I have some tattoos, you can read them like Braille. It's my initials too. You can sit there and run your finger along the tattoo, you can feel it. And that's because the person who tattooed me did way too much damage. You can see this is a nice dark tattoo. And it stayed nice and dark because nothing fell out. And I was using the triple black eternal ink. And I was using the yellow, and I was telling you how I was mixing other colors with the yellow to make it stay in. A lot of people have a hard time getting yellow to stick, but look, there it is right there. All the yellow stayed in, all the black stayed in, and it healed really nice. That's how a healed tattoo should be. You should not be able to feel the tattoo when it's healed. You should not see any white spots in the tattoo or areas where it was dark and then there's a spot missing. There should not be missing areas in the tattoo. You should not see faded areas. You should see really crisp lines. This doesn't look gray. Sometimes you will tattoo, and if people tattoo and it's too deep, it will immediately look like a 20-year-old tattoo because it'll be all faded out. Look how crisp this tattoo is. And I barely did any damage to the skin. That's the trick. The trick is to not damage the skin. The less trauma you do, the better your tattoos will look. And this is why, as a beginning tattoo artist, you need to tattoo people you're going to see very often, so you can see how these tattoos heal up. Don't take a picture of the tattoo when it's freshly done and think, oh look, I did a good job. Come back in 2 weeks and see how that tattoo looks. And see if it's stuck or not. If it just fades out and there's nothing there, you didn't go deep enough. I'll talk more about reading a tattoo later in the next video, but this is important. The most important part of self-tattooing or learning how to tattoo is looking at the healed tattoo and what your tattoo is going to look like 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, pretty much a lifetime down the road. You want your tattoos to look clean, heal nice, and be nice and dark.